Olafinjana.
Yeah, a bit of a late tackle there from the goal scorer, Garba Laval.
Foul there on Samuel Emmanuel, who's starting his first game of the tournament. He plays his football for Liberty Professionals in Ghana. I dare say that was some expert knowledge from Cecil Jones, Benin's Ghanaian coach, who discovered Emmanuel. Cecil Jones, the only Ghanaian out here in Tunisia, or the only Ghanaian involved in the tournament in any case.
All gone wrong for Ghana recently, hasn't it? They were eliminated by Rwanda. Missed out on an opportunity to play in these finals, and Rwanda came instead of them.
Well, interestingly enough, it all started to go wrong for Ghana when they sacked Cecil Jones in 2001.
And here he is, hoping to make a point of it.
Now here's a good break. It's Olafinjana, whose cross was cut out there. Well, I think there is something deep down. Cecil Jones feels he's got a point to prove to the Ghanaian public. He wasn't happy with the way the federation were organising things, and in the end, the dispute became heated and he was dismissed. That's a good header on for Chomogo. Chomogo forced wide, but a good shot.
Well, that's the best opportunity Benin have had, and they made the keeper work for it. Now Kanu chasing a hopeless cause, and he gets a corner.
Well, the first real glimpse there of Chomogo. He had the pace to get down that right channel, and a good snapshot. The goalkeeper Enyama took at the second attempt. It's Nigeria we're watching on the attack now, though. JJ Okocha to take this corner on the right. Just a warning sign, though, for the Super Eagles. It's a good play from Adjumossi. Latunji.
Yeah, going back to African federations and Ghanaian Federation in particular, Matthew, seems to be a trait in African federations. They administrative problems, obviously money problems as well, and the feeling is that just by throwing money at football in Africa isn't going to solve the problem. There's so many political problems and personality clashes and problems from all over the place, anything but football. If they could get that sorted out and just play football, then the African nations could...
Utaka!
Oh! Mid-sentence there I stopped because the ball just whizzed past the left-hand post through the player's legs, and the keeper just got a touch.
He did. That should have been a corner, in fact.
Well, the referee doesn't have the benefit of a replay, but clearly the keeper just got the faintest of touches.
Yeah, that could have crept in. Credit to Agüe. Well, I think you're right, and it's difficult really for these African countries. They don't seem to get any stability. Managers rarely seem to hang around for more than a year or two. Interestingly enough, the Nigeria coach, Christian Chukwu, was the assistant manager in 1994 when Nigeria won the African Nations Cup in Tunisia. And since his departure in '94, Nigeria have had no fewer than 12 managers.
Great play there from Kanu, kept control with 3 players pressurizing him. And now a period of possession for Nigeria, looking for the probing pass, but they give the ball away.
Adjumossi, he's trying to push forward as much as possible now. Good ball for Chomogo, but Chomogo couldn't get inside Yobo there. It looks like Adjumossi is going to be a key to Benin if they're going to get back into this game. The left wing back loves to get forward. Utaka. For Okocha.
Oh, the ball just bounced up at the last moment. But how did he get a shot out of that? A left foot shot from Okocha. Well, the quick strike, and all that came from the Nigerian keeper, Enyima, going route 1. Straight down the middle. Nigeria chased it and got a pretty reasonable shot out of it.
Yeah, it was a drop of the shoulder there that just left Jonas Oketula, made the space for Okocha. Of course, he can hit them with either foot, which is what makes him so dangerous. He's such a balanced player. Now Latunji spreads it wide for Emmanuel.
Yeah, just going back to that point we were making about the federations, Matthew, it's such a pity as well, because some of the quality coaching that the African nations get now, you know, it really does make it even more such a pity that the federations, not all of them, but some of the federations can't get their act together. Why waste such good coaching talent?
That's right.
Administrative problems.
That's right. We had Sunday Marimo on Canal France International for the last Benin match, in fact. We watched this free kick played into the box by Emmanuel, but it's easily cleared. Sunday Marimo, in fact, this was before Zimbabwe beat Algeria, was just saying that people in Zimbabwe are already talking about perhaps replacing him. And that despite the fact that Zimbabwe had played very well against Cameroon and against Egypt, 2 defeats, but they could easily have got something from the Egypt game, and they gave Cameroon a real scare as well. And Marimo is so respected by the players, he's respected by the journalists, but already he's concerned.
Well, everybody missed that then, and the ball eventually hasn't gone out, so still there's a cross to be made. But eventually the ball is just played harmlessly into the keeper. Well, if Zimbabwe do sack their coach, then that will be a travesty, a real travesty, because they performed admirably out here. That 5-3 defeat was a terrific game. They scored 2 terrific goals and got a good penalty as well against a very, very good side. And, obviously very well coached, very motivated. And I find that incredible that they're thinking about sacking.
Now here is Wasiu, the cross. Well, it's perhaps not our place to say they're thinking about sacking him, but just the fact that Marimo has a concern.
Yeah.
For his sake, you would have to hope that that victory over Algeria will inspire a bit more confidence in him, because if Zimbabwe did have some stability, they could certainly go places. Benin, absolutely the same thing. They've shown some talent in this competition. They haven't scored a goal yet.
Oh, nice turn by Okocha. And the pass with the outside of the right foot. Kanu trying to wheel and deal, puts his hands on his head rather.
Exquisite pass again from Okocha, outside of the right foot, inch perfect. Don't think many would argue with CAF's decision to award JJ Okocha with the Player of the Year award.
No, Eto Fils is disappointed a few people out here. He was considered as well, but to my mind, absolutely no argument about Okocha.
Here he is again.
Speaking of whom?
Well, the tournament's not over yet for Samuel Eto Fils, so reserve judgment. If he goes and gets a hat-trick in the final, then... But so far, you're right, Roy. Samuel Eto has struggled really to make a big impact. Yet to score his first goal.
Now, Benin have a free kick well within range. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, this is Okocha. Such a dangerous player. Left foot, right foot, they all come the same to him. And now, who's this player down for Benin?
Ahuya down.
And it's only 21, 22 meters out, so good opportunity for Benin to open their account.
Absolutely, and as we were saying just before the second half started, the longer it does stay at 1-0, the game's still on, and who's to say Nigeria won't get a few nerves? Chamogo will probably be the favourite here. Latunji standing over it, but Chamogo's taking a long run up. Here he comes. Oh! Well, a fizzing strike there from Omar Chomogo, straight at the keeper, either side, and it would have been interesting.
Stung his hands, but straight at him. And I reckon that's the closest Benin have come.
It's been that man, Omar Chomogo, who's had both their efforts on target.
And they've got another free kick. Yeah, just to repeat that the other game in this group, Morocco against South Africa, you can see it on Canal France International after this. That's gone for a corner. That game is actually being played at the same time as this. We don't know the score at the moment, and I'm just looking down at both benches to see whether they are in contact with that other game. But you can see that game in its entirety on Canal France International when this game, Nigeria against Benin, is concluded.
Now an interesting substitution here, Roy. Nigeria are taking off Julius Agahawa, and they're bringing on the young forward, Odem Wingi. Odem Wingi scored 2 goals in Nigeria's last game against South Africa. 2 pretty impressive goals, it should be said, and he's an exciting young player, as we see. It's Odem Wingi, in fact, picking up a yellow card. So that's his first contribution.
What's that, 3 seconds on the pitch?
He's been on for 3 seconds, and he's already taken out the Benin player, Samuel Emmanuel.
Well, that could have been close to a world record had that been a red card then. But a yellow card after 3 or 4 seconds, wow. And Benin have had a succession of free kicks.
Seems a shame to have Chomogo taking the free kicks all the way out on the wing here when he's the man they need in the middle, really.
Yeah, they need his presence in there, don't they? Big lad. Need to get the ball inside to him. Instead of which they lose the ball. And so do Nigeria.
Emmanuel in for Wasiu. Bit scrappy, but Emmanuel gets it back. Now Okocha.
Oh.
Or was that an arm? Seemed to cut that out with his shoulder, I think. Benefit of the doubt from the referee.
Such vision from Okocha as well. The winger was flying. Nearly found him. Now Nigeria have a break on.
Now Odem Wingi is clear.
No foul, clearly indicated by the referee. Says, told the player to get up. Crowd didn't appreciate that.
Well, you just sense that Benin taking more chances now. They're leaving gaps. Odem Wingi looking for Kanu in the box, but it's blocked there.
Kanu waiting in the middle, and here we see a replay of that. Well, all ball, I reckon. Just about.
Christoph Stone, the defender. Another of Benin's young backline who have equipped themselves well. Most of this Benin defence are teenagers, and if they can stay together, if they can qualify for successive African Nations Cups, you sense that in 6 or 8 years, they could have quite a good defensive unit there.
Well, Benin, in the last 5 minutes, they've had 3 or 4 players knocked over, tripped, injured somehow. Maybe a case of them getting tired. But a lot of Benin was hitting the deck.
Yeah, well, they're down to 10 for the time being. Nigeria build on the right.
Shame Kanu waiting on the penalty spot for a cross, which never came.
Well, Odem Wingi, the substitute, who's already made an impression by getting booked. As we see one of Nigeria's more colourful supporters. A brave man going without a shirt today.
I can tell you this is the coldest day we've had in about 4 or 5, and doing very well without his shirt there. The odd Caucasian supporter of Nigeria.
I was saying the substitute Odem Wingi, who managed to get booked in the first few seconds. After coming on, he's an exciting young player. He plays in Belgium for La Louvière, and he showed just how talented he is when he came on against South Africa. Christian Chukwu, the Nigeria coach, will be hoping to see more of that from him, particularly with Kanu and Agahawa, the only other two recognised strikers.
Just to go back to Coach Chukwu, again, another indication of the instability in African football. We almost had a situation where former England player, England captain, I think, Brian Robson almost turned out as a coach to Nigeria. The terms of his contract weren't exactly to his liking, so eventually it didn't happen. But
there's Kanu. Good defending though. Half a chance for Nwankwo Kanu.
Well, Kanu only needs a sniff of a sight of goal and turns and gets a corner. Another substitution here for Benin.
Yeah, Sylvain Remy's coming on. He's a hard-working midfield player. Now, the reason for the change was an injury. So you watch Benin defend this set play. Yobo wide to Lawal. Should be the keepers. It's over the bar.
You know, that's about the second or third corner that JJ Okocha's had from that side of the pitch. I'm amazed he doesn't curl it in with his left foot. He seems to me to be just as good with his left or his right, but he uses his right foot no matter what side of the pitch he's on. He had an out-swinging corner there, and the in-swinging corners he was throwing in the first half were far more dangerous. That's where the goal came from.
Well, some players, even two-footed players like Okocha, just aren't comfortable with dead ball situations, taking it with their other foot. But I imagine if he worked a little bit in training, he could certainly do it without any trouble. Now, just confirmation of the substitution. Going off is Sadaf Chamogo. He looks to have picked up quite a nasty injury there. He's hobbled off. Sylvain Remy has come on. It looks like Benin might be going to 4 at the back now. They have to take a few chances if they're going to get that goal and that point that they so crave.
Well, they have under 20 minutes to do it. So the score stays the same. Nigeria goes through, and Benin go home pointless. Now the assistant referee seems to have signalled corner there. It's another Nigeria corner. JJ Okocha to take it. And they take it short. Well, a planned move that failed to come off.
Again, I'm somewhat surprised that they've taken the corner short as we watch Utaka fighting for it, because the goalkeeper Agwe showed his vulnerability in the first half, and I expected Nigeria really to pepper his 6-yard area with crosses. They've not done it.
No, he's not had any crosses to deal with in this second half. He's not had to make a decision on whether to catch or punch. And here's Kanu, steals the ball. Oh, great body from Kanu. Deceived his man with a body swerve. Kanu again. Yeah, very skillfully drew the foul.
Emmanuel, the Benin right wing back, just showing his frustration there. He needed to be a bit more patient. Given another free kick away, this again could be dangerous as Benin prepare a substitution.
This free kick is precisely the spot where JJ Okocha scored against Aston Villa in the semi-final first leg of the Worthington Cup. He bent it in inside the left-hand post with the outside of his right foot. Looks to me to be lining up for a cross here, though.
Meanwhile, Mustafa has come on for Benin to replace Wasiu.
There's a curling shot, really, with the possibility of a cross with someone getting a touch on it.
Credit to the goalkeeper there. He was a bit more decisive, and he got a much better punch on the ball. So Mustafa, the number 13, coming on, and he'll try and provide some support to those forwards.
Isaac Okoronkwo is absolutely commanding the middle of that defence there. He's had the last 3 balls have gone to him, and he's won them on persistence, basically. Okocha tries to lay the ball off.
Well, I think Okoronkwo is gaining in confidence, and like I said, he hasn't played hardly any football really at Wolves this season, and he's a quality player.
Here's Kanu again. The drag back. Well,
it's a gift for Nigeria. Benin trying to dribble the ball out of their own 6-yard area, and John Utaka makes it Nigeria 2, Benin 0. The Super Eagles are going to the quarterfinals.
That was a disaster for Benin. What on earth were they thinking about? They could have cleared it 3 or 4 times and then eventually tried to dribble it out, lost the ball, and the easiest of goals for Utaka. Well, all 11 Benin players, they're looking at the floor in disgust. They know they really should have got rid of that ball ages ago.
Well, sadly, that was amateurish defending.
Here we go, and there's the attempted dribble, and thank you very much. The ball's in the back of the net.
Well, what a shame. It was Adjamosi, the left wing back that I've been singing the praises of. He's had a very good tournament, but if he's remembered for that.
Well, all credit to Utaka. He put the pressure on, but it was just too easy, really.
Yeah, he showed good composure, Utaka, but he's a quality player, and you give someone like that a gift like that, he won't say no. It was at about that time that Morocco scored their second goal, and like you said, the body language of these Benin players, their heads have hung low there. And there's just a danger now that Nigeria could run away with this one. 15 minutes remain.
Well, it's now the time for Coach Christian Chukwu just to make a couple of substitutions just in case. Just to protect a couple of players, you never know. The last thing Nigeria want to do is pick up an injury now or even a red card. Can't see that happening, but just to protect 1 or 2 key players. The game, the qualification is more or less certain now. And with, well, 12.5 minutes to go, perhaps we'll see a few substitutions now.
Nigeria have 2 players, in fact, who have...
And there's an injured player. I wasn't being prophetic then.
Yeah, Nigeria have 2 players, I was saying, who've picked up yellow cards already in this tournament. One of them is Agahawa. Perhaps that's one of the reasons Agahawa was taken off. The other one is Joseph Yobo. Probably will want to keep the Everton defender on the pitch for the last 12 minutes or so.
Here's Okocha with the corner. And this time Benin do a good job of getting it out of the danger area. Okocha with the throw in as well. Remember, Nigeria lost their opening game to Morocco, and they beat South Africa comfortably 4-0. They're 2-0 up here, with a goal difference 6-4 and 1 against. Boys pinged into the middle again, and at the moment it's all Nigeria.
And the Super Eagles, who look set to go through now, they'll play either Cameroon or Algeria in the quarterfinals. That all depends on Morocco's result against South Africa. Certainly Nigeria against Cameroon would be quite a tie. A repeat of the final in 2000.
It's Kanu. Everybody on the ground thought Okocha was going to shoot then. And it's showtime almost for Okocha and Nigeria.
It's a great cross. was a great cross from Odemwingie. George Abbey, the right back, had got into the box.
And the goalmouth beckoned. What a great cross and just misdirected. Well, golden opportunity to make it 3.
Yeah, Abbey, he is a defender by trade, and he showed why there, really. He should have buried it.
So the confidence is now absolutely oozing out of every pore of the Nigerian players. Running the show, doing virtually what they want, and Benin playing for pride.
Well, it would be a shame for the Benin players if they folded in these last 10 minutes. 2-0 against Nigeria is nothing to be ashamed of. They obviously would have hoped for more, but we're watching Nigeria attacking once more. Here's Latunji. Can Benin give something to their supporters back home to remember from this tournament?
And Nigeria want more, putting a lot of pressure on just about every pass that the Benin was trying to make. And you can just sense the danger for Benin now. They could collapse in these last 9 minutes or so. As you say, Matthew, that would be a shame because they've put up a gallant performance here, in fact, in the whole tournament.
They have, and they do look set to go home. Oh, here we go. No. Almost a chance for Chimogo, but his touch was too heavy. First sign there that Chimogo could get free through the middle, past Yobo. Yeah, Benin looked likely to go home with 0 points, like the Democratic Republic of Congo. But it's all a learning experience for Benin.
Again, just to repeat, here in their first African Nations Cup tournament. They've certainly not disgraced themselves. And who knows, maybe just a consolation goal here for them. But not with a cross like that.
Well, playing in a tournament that's got such a high profile as the African Nations Cup tells the rest of the world that Benin are here and they are a footballing nation. Now there are players, certain players who play in Europe who have Benin heritage. Sidney Govou for one. He plays for France now, but who knows, if Benin had been playing African Nations Cup football a few years ago, Govou could be playing for Benin right now. And if they can attract those sort of players, if they can develop more homegrown talent, this team is very, very young, remember. Perhaps in the years to come, Benin will be competing and beating teams like Nigeria. They've competed today, but they're not going to beat them. Here is Odemwingie away on the right. He looked for Kanu at the near post, but a groan to my left from Roy tells its own story.
And a groan from Kanu as well. Just looked down at the floor. He was on the penalty spot almost, and the ball sailed over his head.
Now the goal scorer, John Utaka, is coming off. We're going to see Pius Ikedia. As predicted, Nigeria taking no chances. Utaka getting a rest. He's a key man if they're going to go a long way in this tournament, Utaka. Normally plays up front for his club Lens, but he's been asked to play more of a roving midfield role out here, and he's played very well so far. Koronko back to Enyama. Now, is there still time for a bit of magic from Africa's Player of the Year, JJ Okocha? At the moment, Benin have the ball.
Well, Okocha just got sold short on that pass. That was almost a hospital pass.
Seems to have moved further forward now, Okocha, almost as if he's hungry to show the public here just what he can do.